Hey everyone, this is Certified High Performance Coach Michelle Weimer here with you today, and I have a great topic today. If you are someone who's ever thought to yourself or asked out loud, am I a bad person? This is the video today for you. And I love this topic because I hear this question asked. As a matter of fact, just recently I had a couple of people ask this same question, and you can replace the word person with, am I a bad wife? Am I a bad mom? Maybe you don't ask it in a question. Maybe it's more of a statement like, I'm such a bad husband, or I'm a bad um, whatever, employee, spouse, entrepreneur, girlfriend, boyfriend, parent, child, sibling, whatever that word is that replaces person for you, or maybe it is just, hi, am I a bad person for saying this or thinking this or for how I'm showing up? Sometimes it comes because we've made mistakes. You made a mistake, you didn't show up as your best self, and you feel like you're a bad person. But what I want to tell you so passionately today is you're human and you're going to make mistakes. And there are going to be times when you don't show up as your best self. That doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. And when you let go of that idea that you are bad because you have made a mistake, had a failure, not shown up as your best self, maybe even, spoke your mind or stood up for what you believed in at the expense of possibly hurting somebody else's feelings or having to put a boundary between you and another person, it doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. So I want you to hear that if you heard nothing else on this video, but we're going to talk about how to understand that for yourself and how to practice that on a regular basis. So let me give you an example that occurred with this somebody who asked me recently, am I being a bad friend? And what she was doing was she was speaking her truth. She was trying to hold on to some boundaries with a friend and not get into drama. And she felt like she needed to speak up to this friend and challenge her not to be a victim in her own life, right? Like, if you've ever been around somebody who blames other people for their troubles all the time, and she just felt like it was time for her to speak up, like her friend needed to hear this. And then she felt bad that she was being a bad person for doing it. So again, like I said earlier, it may not be that you've made a mistake or had a failure that makes you feel like a bad person or done something really wrong. It might be that when you're honoring yourself or speaking your own truth instead of playing small or conforming or giving in to other people, that it feels icky. But that's okay as long as you follow some of these guidelines that I'm going to walk you through today. So here's what I told this person, and these are the guidelines that I want you to keep in mind when you find yourself in a position of scratching your head and uttering that question of like, am I a bad person for doing this or thinking this or whatever, or am I a bad parent because I told my kid no, right? Like I've had people ask me that question, am I being a bad parent because I'm not letting my child do this? Like more times than not, the answer is no, you're not being a bad parent. It just feels uncomfortable to set those boundaries or to not give in to what somebody else wants. Sometimes people go, am I, being a bad person because I want this thing for myself? I want to take a different route than maybe the path that I was originally thought I was going to follow. Like, no, that's following your heart, right? So anyway, here's some guidelines to keep in mind. This is what I told a woman who had asked me, am I being a bad friend? First and foremost, you are human. Okay? You are going to make mistakes and you're not always going to be at the top of your game, right? I didn't tell her this in this particular moment, but this is something that goes across the board when you feel like you've made a mistake or you've failed at something. Keep this part in mind. You are human and you are going to make those mistakes. You're not always going to be at the top of your game. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need help and support. It doesn't make you bad or weak or a failure or not enough. It means you're human and you need a little help. So don't be afraid to ask for it. It doesn't make you weak, it doesn't make you bad, and it certainly doesn't make you a failure. It just makes you real. So back to this woman and her thought, then the other thing I said to her is, as long as the decisions that you're making are within the intention, or with the intention that it's for your greater good and the greater good of others. Okay, so it's about the intention that you have behind your actions. So if you are speaking up to someone like she was to her friend, and she just felt like, I have to be real, I have to be honest with her. She's playing a victim in her life and it's not serving her. And she wanted to actually help her friend. And she knew it was going to make her friend mad and hurt her feelings. And it did first. But the reality was, she knew that what she was doing was what she felt was right in her heart, and she had good intentions. She really wanted to help her friend. So make sure that the decisions that you're making or the actions you're taking are with the intention of being for your greater good and the good of those around you. When you do that, you know what? You can't go wrong. It means that you're just doing what you can to be that best version of yourself. It means that you have the right intention, and when you do that, you can hold your head high, even if the thing that you do or the thing that you say isn't well received by others. That's okay. That's for themselves to own. But as long as you can be proud of yourself for speaking your mind, honoring yourself, and being real and authentic and true to how you feel and what's important to you. The next one is integrity. It's about integrity. So it's about, again, being authentic and real. It's about showing up each and every day as a best version of yourself and being in integrity with the person that you have the intention to be. Think about how you define yourself, those characteristics that make you who you are at your best self. When you're living in alignment with that and you're showing up every day, that's integrity. That's you being your best. And when you can do that, it doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're doing your best. It means you're practicing that every day. And you know what? Every day it is a new practice. Like, we do have to start that over at times. We may have a bad day. Maybe you didn't sleep well, so you're grouchy and grumpy, or you're irritable. You have a lot of stress, and you're not showing up as your best self. Reset. Again, remember point number one, you are human and you're going to make mistakes, but have that sense of integrity for yourself and that pride in wanting to just be your best self every day, and start new. Hit the reset button. And by the way, it doesn't have to mean all day. It might mean in that moment you stop and you pause and you hit the reset. For example, parents, a lot of times they kind of lose their cool. Hey, I've done it myself. If you're a parent out there, raise your hand. You've probably done it. Lose your cool with your kids and you yell in the moment, and then you realize later, like, that's not how I wanted to show up. That's not me being my best as a parent. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It makes you human, and you hit the reset button and you go in with integrity and you say, you know what? I didn't like how I showed up there. I didn't intend to yell at you, but I'm frustrated, and this is how I feel, and this is what's going on, and this is what I'm asking you to do. Like, when you can do that, not only are you practicing being that best version of you, but you're teaching your children, you're role modeling the way to them of how they can be their best as well. And then the last point that I want to make today is just own it. Own who you are. After you have examined the actions that you're taking that are making you feel like you are a bad person, or whatever's coming up for you, own it. If it, after you've evaluated, am I being human? Are the decisions I'm making with the right intentions? Are they in integrity with who I want to be when I'm being my best self? Then own that and be okay with that. And if it's not, if they are not meeting those standards, then own that too. And that's what I was just saying a second ago. Like, as a parent, maybe, or maybe, as an employee or as a friend, maybe you don't do your best work on a project, and you go, you know what, I gotta own that. I'm gonna do a better job the next time. Whatever the case, own it. After you've examined it, Own it. But it doesn't mean you own being a bad person. It means you own your mistake and you learn from it. That's the difference between having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. When you have a fixed mindset, you take that all internally and you see it as failure, you see yourself as failure. When you have a growth mindset, you go, oh, that didn't go like I wanted it to. I didn't show up as my best self. I did make mistakes. How can I fix it? So own it and then course correct and fix it, right? That's what makes you not a bad person, but a magnificent human being. And that is who I believe we all are inside. We just have to do the work to bring it out and share it with others. So I want to thank you for joining me today. As always, joining me every single week. Oh, and by the way, I have been asked to speak at an event coming up next week. I want to invite you to join me. I'm going to put the link in with this video so that you can go there, sign up. It's all about being resilient. And right now, during these times when we are all struggling, we've got to be resilient. And you know what? That's part of being human as well, right? We are going to make mistakes, but staying resilient, getting back up, starting over, and striving again. That's what makes the human spirit such a beautiful, magical thing. So I'll tell you more about that. That'll be in with the post. And again, thank you for joining me. This is a certified high performance coach, Michelle Wimmer, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.